And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get ready for race number 11 of the season here for the NNSCRA Almond Joy Series. We are getting set here for Dover International Raceway weekend, and this should be very interesting. The Monster Mile, and this is an opportunity here for these drivers. This is their last opportunity to get into this season's Almond Joy Series All-Star race, because next week, it's an off week because we just have the Hershey's Cup Series running the Coca-Cola 600, longest race of the year. So this is going to be very interesting. We're going to have to see what happens here with these drivers in this one. And we've got Davey Johnson lined up on the pole alongside of Mitchell Carter. Neither driver have been to victory lane yet this season. Same can be said for Brooke Allen, Cody Smart, and Kermicah Jazen, all lining up inside the coming into this race too. We'll get to all that in just a moment, but for now, let's go down and get the command to fire up the engines here at Dover.
Start your engines!
And there's the command to fire them up. We are getting set to go here. Let's tell you what the point stands look like coming into this race, because I'll tell you what, we're heading into the second half of the regular season with the points really, really close, and Dover is definitely a game-changing race, and it could be a game-changer here today in this one, this 40-lap event. Eric Hayden is the points leader by only 1 point over James Qualls. Paul Minnick is 4 points back in third. Richard Johnson is 5 points back in fourth. Fifth place, 8 points out, is Benny Watson, who's actually starting off from this race 89 today. In sixth in points, 9 points, that is Ryan George. Seventh in the points, actually a tie for seventh in the points between the outside pole sitter Mitchell Carter and DJ Curtis. They points out. Nick Johnson, our winner from Tula, he is ninth in the standings, 11 points out of the lead, and 17 points out in 10th in the standings is Nick Gunther. So only 17 points separating the top 10 in the standings, and we're here at a track like Dover. Points could look really interesting heading into the second half of the regular season. Here we go. Davey Johnson and Mitchell Carter lead us down. 40 laps await us here at Dover. Green flag's out. We're underway here at the Monster Mile. Davey Johnson got himself a good jump. He is already gone. Brooke Allen quickly moves to second, Jazen into third, and at outside line led by Mitchell Carter, was caught napping on the initial start. And here comes Brooke Allen for Johnson trying to lead the first lap of this race. At the line, scoring monitor says that the leader of that lap was indeed Brooke Allen by 4 1,000ths. So Allen gets some valuable bonus points, and the caution flag's already out. The yellow flag is already waving on lap 2. And there's smoke over there in the turn 1 area. This is not good because a lot of times the leaders will plow into a wreck that's still happening. Look out, that's Zachariah Hall. Stop there on the oh, but some people have hit him. Some people have just hit him. Amorius Studemeyer Jr. has just hit him. I believe Nick Gunther may have gotten a piece of him. And that's the one problem with Dover, especially on incidents that take place in turn 1, is more often than not the race leaders do not slow down in time if the drivers involved in the wreck have not yet left the scene of the accident. That was Tyler Markle in the 48 that was just sitting on pit road. Apparently he was involved. And you can still see the smoke from the incident that happened over in turn 1. Apparently the wind blowing into the turn 1, turn 2 area over turns 3 and 4. It's blowing the smoke over there, but caution flag out for the first time here. Let's take a look and see what happened. Brooke Allen is our race leader. Well, the question of where this incident starts, there are actually a number of places here. Mid-pack to the rear of the field where this wreck ensued. Coming off of turn 4, they're 3 wide back here. There's contact between Richard Johnson and Mike Becker. Seth Cole gets turned around by Nick Johnson. Joseph Romero crowds James Qualls. Qualls goes down into Zachariah Hall. There's Benny Watson getting involved. Tyler Markle actually gets through the unscathed right there, but also involved was Caitlin Sang. And Raines is there, and looks like he spins out and into the back of Becker. So he's involved as well. Oh, wow. Becker actually gets a little bit more damage there after more contact with Zachariah Hall. Now, everybody's able to drive away, but something happens with the 4 Flex Seal Chevrolet, our Las Vegas winner, where he gets caught on that transition between the racetrack and the apron. We'll have to see what it is. Is it get hit by Richard Johnson again here? Yeah, Richard's into his right rear, and right there hooks him around. And that's what causes the 4 car to actually be stuck there on the apron. Now, I'm not exactly certain why the 48 of Tyler Markle was on pit road. He was just barely got through this incident. But we're also going to look here and stay on the 4 because as his car was stuck there on the apron. Oh, here come the race lead involved in hitting him. I believe the 88 and the 11 were 2 of them. Morris Studemeyer Jr. goes low. And Nick Gunther goes high. No, actually, I don't think they did actually hit him. The contact I was hearing was further back. That's the 51 of Jordan Lopez, and he got hit from behind. Oh, by the 48 of Markle. That's what the contact was. It was actually further back here. Some drivers piling in, having to slow down. Markle ran into the back of Lopez. I saw both those cars on the pit road, and I think, oh, that's just dirt that's been both Jesse Turner and Eric Hayden. I thought they might be smoking, but that's actually just terrain smoke, terrain dust. So Markle and Lopez get their damage from having to slow down for the Zachariah Hall machine. But a couple of drivers got some pretty extensive damage after that incident too. Becker got some damage, Watson, Qualls, Richard Johnson. So we're going to have to see where this puts them. Oh, and Markle had to teleport to pit road because he got stuck in the same area like Zachariah Hall, right on that transition between the racetrack and the aprons. That's why he teleported to pit road. But that's what put us under the caution. Let's go back now for the restart. Should be a single file restart, so maybe we'll get into a long green flag run, maybe some pit strategy. Well, the lights are still on the caution lights here on the safer barriers as well as on the Chevy Corvette pace car, but we're going to take this guys up to speed on the running order and whatnot, because we should be getting the signal of 1 to go next time by. So Brooke Allen is the race leader. I remember last week a driver that was struggling in the points went to victory lane at Bermuda in the form of Chris Dollarton and moved him up to 30th in the point standings. So Brooke Allen, who also is struggling in the standings, maybe be able to get a victory here today and get herself a chance to get up into the top 30 in the point standings, get into this season's first Almond Joy Series chase for the championship. She lines up as the leader. Carmichael Jasmine second. Davey Johnson slipped back to third. Fourth place, that is Kev Shearer. Fifth place is Grayson Acavito. And Mitchell Guy. That complete your top 10. A little bit further down the running order for you. Morris Studemeyer Jr. lines up in 11th. Jonathan Zorling 12th. Colin Denton 13th. Nick Gunther 14th. 15th is Cody Hagan. Then it's Angel Navarro, DJ Curtis. Two-time winner Matthew Dallio 18th. That completes the top 20. There you see Zachariah Hall and Tyler Markle. They'll line up on the inside line. Markle is 1 lap down. Are still running, however, only 38 of them though on the lead lap. And I should believe that both Tyler Markle will be somewhat up to speed. The only reason they're really a lap down is they got caught on the transition between the racetrack and the apron and had to teleport to pit road. So we'll have to see if they actually play havoc with these race leaders too, having to get around them on the high side as they'll come down. And on lap 7 to 40, we are back green. Around on the outside line, but it's not going to work. Zachariah Hall on the bottom trying to battle back in one of his laps back. And look at Kev Shearer down on the inside there of Tyler Markle. He's now moved into second, and he may be able to use Zachariah Hall as a pick here to maybe get the race lead away from Brooke Allen, who still is side by side. Here comes Shearer. Shearer closing up ground as it's still side by side between the race leader and the car a lap down. Oh, Kev thought about going 3 wide, it looked like, going into 3. Thinks better of it and just riding in the tire tracks here of Zachariah Hall, who still remains to the inside of the Reynolds Wrap Chevrolet. Now he's going to force the issue 3 wide. Here comes Shearer for the race lead. 3 wide with the lap car in the middle. Oh, look at Carmichael, just couldn't get off. And Brooke Allen is just barely able to clear on the high side. Brooke Allen getting out of dodge. A very scary situation right there at the front of the field, but she'll get the lead using the high line. Shearer into second, and now Carmichael Jazin left to deal with the lap traffic, currently running in third with teammate Grayson Acevedo right behind him. So Allen now begins to check out just the least a little bit, maybe about 2 car length separation back to Kev Shearer. Then about maybe another 4 car lengths back to Carmichael Jazin, who is now almost clear of the lap traffic, trying to get around the Tyler Mark, or make that Zachariah Hall machine now. Grayson Acevedo and Davey Johnson, they're now in a fight for the 4th position. This going on behind the 2 lap machines of Markle and Hall. And that's brought Elijah Gordon and Jeffrey Finguy and Maury Studemeyer Jr., Julio Cesar right into the fray as well. And now Jazin will complete the pass on the lap traffic. The top 3 are now clear of the 2 lap cars. Davey Johnson now the next one in line trying to do that. He's trying to get around, almost completed the pass on Zachariah Hall. May actually have trouble back there. Julio Cesar gets turned around. Colin Denton's involved and people are piling in. Cody Hagan is in it. 1 car upside down, that's Nick Gunther. Seth Cole is involved. Nick Gunther is in it, as well as Jordan Lopez, Jeremy Jones, Paul Minnick, Jonathan Rains. Big wreck heading into turn number 1. Benny Watson's collected. Jonathan Zorlin's car has come to a halt. And look out, race leaders. Brooke Allen nearly came into the fray, as did most of the race leaders, but looks like they all are going to get around unscathed. But that was a big wreck, and that started just around maybe the 6th position. James Qualls. Looks like he got involved in that. There's Jordan Lopez, Becker, John Andrews, Ben Watson, last week's winner Chris Dollarton, Richard Johnson, Seth Cole, Caitlin Sang, Jonathan Rains, Nick Gunther, Finguy, Jesse Turner, Jonathan Zorlin, and that may just be the tip of the iceberg of drivers involved. Julio Johnson's got damage. Cody Hagan's got a lot of damage. Colin Denton, I know, was involved. Mitchell Carter, I believe, got a piece of it. So if you're keeping track of the number of drivers I just listed off there, we may have reached somewhere around maybe 15, 20 drivers collected in this one as pit stops are going on. And I don't know if Brooke Allen was one of the drivers that pitted. I don't think she was. Oh, yes, she was, actually. And these are drivers that just pitted and they're coming off. There's Brooke Allen. Is she going to beat Kev Shearer out? No, she is not. Kev Shearer comes off pit road, I believe, as the race leader. Brooke Allen will come out second. She's got some rear end damage, does Brooke. Third will be Davey Johnson. 4th place, I believe, would be Matthew Daly, and Carmichael Jazin would be the top 5 when we go back green. But we'll take the opportunity now and go back, look at a replay of what happened. I believe after pit stops, Kev Shearer is now the new race leader here at Dover. All right, we're going to go back all the way to the entrance of turn 4 to see how this happened. Looks like Jeffrey Finguy is going to stick his nose in the middle of Julio Cesar and Grayson Acevedo, and we've seen 3 wide situations not be really all that good. Oh, actually, Finguy kind of came down across the nose of Colin Denton. Denton hooks Finguy into Cesar. Cesar then up into Grayson Acevedo. And then Finguy's car shoots down to the inside wall. Denton just barely gets clipped as he almost got through it. And then watch Finguy come right back up in front of traffic. There's Nick Gunther. There's Mitchell Carter. Connor Breton actually was the one that hits Gunther to flip him over. There's Hagan involved. Nick Johnson. Zorlin. Minnick. Dollarton. Rains. Qualls, I think, got a piece of it. Richard Johnson. Watson gets turned around up there. Seth Cole. Jesse. These drivers up here just trying to find some real estate to be able to get through. I don't know if Caitlin Sang and John if they got any damage or not. Oh man, there's another hit right there. Benny Watson and Zorlin, and then Nick Johnson just never stops. Runs straight into Benny Watson. There's Jordan Lopez there on the right side of your screen. It gets into the back of Jonathan Rains again there. Seth Cole involved. Chris Dollarton, last week's winner, was looking for a good point and keep himself in the top 30 in the points to have that win at Bermuda count towards a chase spot, but he's got some pretty extensive front and left side damage on his 43 Mustang. There's Nick Gunther, 10th in the point standings. Matter of fact, if we're going through drivers in points, Richard Johnson, 4th. Benny Watson, 5th. So, 9th in points involved. Oh, and there was an incident further up here with Richard Johnson, James Qualls, and Paul Minnick. What was this about? Oh, and I think, yeah, Dollarton gets a big chunk of that too. What in the world? Now, why did this happen? Okay, it starts up further with the 27 of Qualls. Let's see what this is. Oh, Qualls, I think, doesn't realize that Finn Guy is a little bit faster than him. He just comes right up in front of the 20. Puts Finn Guy in the wall. That bounces the 27 off of him. And then Qualls, I think, is going to get hit by Paul Minnick. And then Richard Johnson just gets run over by Cody Hagan as well. Minnick with a pretty... And then watch the 43, that blue and black car coming into view there. That's Chris Dollarton. He's going to go low, sees Richard Johnson's cars drifting down the track, so he turns the car hard right to try and go to the high side and just clobbers the 93. And this may not be it. This may actually continue on here. Nick Gunther trying to go up the middle. He just barely squeezes through. Seth Cole, though, in the 99, he's not going to be able to slow down, and he's going to clobber Chris Dollarton. And then here comes Caitlin Sang. Sang's into the back of Seth Cole. Seth Cole's car kind of bounces into the air a little bit. Julio Cesar trying to get around the high side. Looks like he's successful, but man, that pace car had to traverse through some pretty treacherous territory over in turn 1 and then over here on the back straightaway as well. About another 5-6 cars pile up here on the back straightaway as well. Oh, and look up there. It looks like somebody else got into somebody. I think that was Jordan Lopez just ran into the back of John Andrews. So, boy, there's not many cars in this race right now that don't have some kind of damage. That incident took place up inside the top 10, spread all the way over from turn 1 into the middle of the back straightaway. And this caution has definitely put a monkey wrench in the running order here of this race. The camera is centered on your race leader, Kev Shearer. But you'll notice there are lap cars and drivers down the tail end of the lead lap just up ahead of him. You got Seth Cole, Caitlin Sang, Benny Watson, John Andrews, Mike Becker. You got Markle, Gunther, Qualls, Minnick, Zorlin, Breton, and Hall. Going to be a very interesting restart. Is out of the race, Jonathan Rains, Jesse Turner, Chris Dollarton, and Richard Johnson. We're getting ready to go back green. Green flag is back out, and this is going to be very chaotic here for the race leaders, having to deal with the lead lap. And Brooke Allen's going to try and use the lap traffic as a pick, but not going to be able to do it. Inside line a little bit slower, it seems. Kev Shear trial back on the high side. But I think Brooke may have gotten the... She did. Brooke Allen to the race lead. Davey Johnson moves into second. Frames are awful right now, good lord. And we are not even halfway through this race yet. Oh no. Looks like they're thinking about bringing up at 6 minute hold up everybody. Clip and everybody gonna scatter to avoid this one. Looks like nobody hit him. And all these guys, I don't know, are they back on the lead lap? Zachariah Hall, I don't think is. He's 2 laps. They were going to be back in the lead lap, a number of them, but they just wrecked again. Cody Hagan, James Qualls, Jonathan Zorlin, Zachariah Hall. I'm pretty sure that Hagan was going to be... I think Markle was going to be back on the lead lap. Zorlin, I think, was going to be back on the lead lap as well. And they just all plowed into each other. Well, the race leader after all that is Brooke Allen, and somehow Davey Johnson's actually still scored in the second position. Not exactly sure how when his car spun out, but it's where they have him scored. We're under caution once again here at Dover, just past the halfway point now, but go back and see what happened this time. 4 wide, you knew it wasn't going to work because 3 wide seldom works here off turn number 4. And right there, Paul Minnick, he just been holding everybody up there, had the 6. He puts Caitlin Sang up into Seth Cole into the wall, and then watch right here, Davey Johnson gets a hit right there, and then he's going to get clipped right there. In the right rear by Caitlin Sang. Oh, trouble further back as well. That's Jay Jefferson getting turned off the nose of Julio Cesar, and Jeremy Jones getting turned off the nose of Mitchell Carter. Everybody going to try spinning Davey Johnson car, which I believe they were successful in doing. So that was fortunate, but that is what puts us under caution. Yeah, there you see Davey Johnson holding the brake, keeps his car up the race. Very, very fortunate for him. Jefferson continues, Jones continues, so I don't know how much damage the 28's got on the nose. Jefferson trying to get a good run after finishing dead last week at Bermuda Triangle. Nick Johnson came to pit road, and these guys, I believe it was Andrews and Zorlin and Markle and Nick Gunther, they all got back on the lead lap as a result. Qualls might have as well, but maybe Breton as well, but after that stack-up we saw that took place with them, you got to wonder how many of them are still going to stay a lap down. But Brooke Allen, after all that, is going to be the race leader after getting the lead back from Kev Shearer. And now we'll have to see what she can do with it, as I think she'll have clean racetrack on this restart. The drivers just got the signal 1 to go, so the lap machines will pull down to the inside line, and drivers that did get back on the lead lap after that included Paul Minnick, Nick Gunther, John Andrews, Tyler Markle. So they are all back on the lead lap. We have 22 cars officially still on the lead lap as we speak, and out of the race we've got 2 drivers that had mechanical issues under that last run, including DJ Curtis and Grayson Acavito. A piston problem for DJ Curtis, a header problem for Grayson Acavito. So tough break there for both those drivers. DJ Curtis came into this race 8th in the point standings, so not good for him. They'll join Jonathan Raines, Jesse Turner, Chris Dawson, and Richard Johnson behind the wall. Top 10 as we go back green. It's Brooke Allen, Davey Johnson, Carmichael Jasden, Angel Navarro, and Amori Stoudemire Jr. That's your top 5. Points leader Eric Hayden's up to 6th. Kev Shearer's back to 7th. Matthew Dahlia runs 8th, 9th Cody Smart, and Joseph Romero, our Infineon race winner, who's got to get himself into the top 30 in points. He's currently running in 10th. Lap traffic could be an issue again here on this restart. We'll get back green with 16 laps to go. Lap 25, the green flag is back out. And Brooke Allen very quickly to the throttle is going to clear Caitlin Sang, and now has clean racetrack as Davey Johnson's now left to deal with the lap traffic. 99 of Seth Cole badly damaged, holding up drivers back there. And that really has spread the field out, especially the top 4 back to 5th place. As we got the battle on right now for the 2nd spot. Davey Johnson, Carmichael Jasden in the 7, and the 25 of Angel Navarro. Add also in the 88 of Amori Stoudemire Jr. now in the mix. And all this going on behind the 0 of Brooke Allen, who has checked out and has 2 lap machines now between herself and this battle for 2nd. Gotta wonder, too, if this thing could maybe go green the rest of the way, if pit strategy would come into play. But right now, track position is key, and Brooke Allen's got lots of it. Davey Johnson right now in 2nd. We got a couple of teammates there in Carmichael Jasden and Amori Stoudemire Jr., and there's the caution. Caution's out again. No smoke in turn 1. Looks like the smoke's lingering over in turn 3. So, first incident we've had over in the turn 3 area today. Most of the incidents take place over at the entrance exit of 4, over into the entrance of 1. And we're going to line them up and try it again, it looks like. Nick Johnson's been making numerous pit stops. Looks like this time it may have involved John Andrews, maybe Colin Denton in the 1, and looks like some drivers are coming to pit road. Seth Cole, Elijah Gordon. Oh no, they're actually, I guess, gaining back track position. They may have lost. I wonder if it may have started with Seth Cole, to be honest. That car was really slow and holding up a lot of drivers there on that restart. Zachariah Hall back on pit road. And Julio Cesar sits on pit road as well. Brooke Allen shows the way. And I believe when we go back green, we will have single file restarts, which means that 2 lap machines will be starting between Brooke Allen and Davey Johnson. Unless they're going to be maybe pitting here. don't know if pit road's going to be open this time or not. Pace car is just picking them up, so let's actually stick with the race leaders just for a moment, just in case they do decide to come to pit road under this caution. If so, I think they can make it the rest of the way. And we'll see if maybe Kev Shearer, the strategy he employed to get the lead away from Brooke Allen off of pit road, if maybe someone like Davey Johnson, Jazin, Studemeyer, Navarro, if they can utilize it. And the leaders are not coming to pit road. All right, so we will go back, look at a replay of what happened. Put us under this, I believe it's our 4th caution now of the day here at Dover. Well, this was going into turn 2. This is just a hornet's nest here. They're almost literally 4 wide back here. Cesar and Andrews, Jefferson, Qualls, Markle, Gunther, Hagen, Carter, and Minnick. And right here, Cesar thinks he's clear on Jefferson, comes up the racetrack, and Jefferson was there to his right rear quarter panel. Just turns the 90 car around right in front of Tyler Markle and Nick Gunther. And the car spins down towards the apron of turn 3. And oh my goodness, just gets clobbered by Paul Minnick up and over end onto its roof, back onto its wheels. No wonder they threw the caution for that. Look at that. Wow. Oh, and right up into the safer barrier, up riding the safer barrier. What a violent impact there for Julio Cesar. Not often you see a car barrel rolling like that here at Dover. And the ironic thing is I'm getting word that that car is actually still running. That car is still on the racetrack. It's still running after flipping and barrel rolling into 3. Wow. Well, that's what put us under caution. Let's go back for the restart. Maybe, just maybe, we'll finish the last couple laps under green flag conditions. We will have less than 10 to go when we go back green, so let's go back live action now. And just in case you didn't believe me about Julio Cesar flipping over but still running, there he is. We have got the signal 1 lap to green. The pace car will lead them down here. It will be Brooke Allen showing the way. 2 lap machines. Caitlin Sang, Benny Watson, between herself and second place Davey Johnson. Then it's Carmika Jasmine, Morris Studemeyer Jr., Angel Navarro. That's your top 5. Then it's Hayden, Smart, George, Shearer, and William Brock has now cracked the top 10. We will restart with 9 laps to go. Let's hope we can finish these last 9 laps under green. Green flag back out. And I don't know if anybody retired after that wreck. No, they did not. Somehow, someway, Paul Minnick, after clobbering Julio Cesar, he is still on the lead lap. He's currently running in 21st. And Cesar is currently a lap down in 31st. He is still running too. Whoa, almost some contact back there. This is a pretty good battle going on. I believe that is for the 4th position. Actually make it 3rd, and Eric Hayden will move to position number 3. So the points leader making his presence felt late here at Dover. He's now going for 2nd place off of Davey Johnson. Hayden came into this race 1 point advantage over James Qualls. Qualls has had trouble today, several laps down to the race leaders. Hayden trying to cash in on that, as he's currently now up in the runner-up position. Battle is on for 3rd. Morris Studemeyer Jr. to the inside of Davey Johnson, and looks like he'll take that spot. Move him up to position number 3. Oh, that's some contact with somebody. Did they wreck? I don't think they wrecked. We're still under green. Here's the battle on for, I believe this is 4th place. Cody Smart on the inside, Davey Johnson on the outside. Carmika Jasmine looking to go up the middle. Oh, careful. They got the flat machine of Jonathan Zorlin right here with him as well. Ryan George way down at the bottom. He's going to bypass them both. And move Ryan George, I believe that moved him up into the top 5. It's a battle for 5th between him and Carmika Jasmine. But meanwhile, Eric Hayden, he has gotten himself past Benny Watson, and he's starting to close in on Caitlin Sang and Brooke Allen. Brooke Allen's the race leader. Caitlin Sang's a lap down, but Caitlin Sang is hounding the back bumper of Brooke Allen, and Eric Hayden has closed up the distance. No better way to open up your points lead than with a victory. Eric Hayden, the points leader, here he comes. Trying to get to the the inside of Caitlin Sang. It'll be 2 to go when they hit the stripe. Does Hayden have enough time? He needs Caitlin Sang to make a move on Brooke Allen, so he can follow in the tire tracks and freight train the 0. 2 laps to go. And now, Amaury Studemeyer Jr. starting to get himself up here into the picture, but he's got a lap machine of Mike Becker between himself and second place Eric Hayden. And Hayden backed off a little bit to try and get a good entry here into 3. Not going to be able to get to the inside of Caitlin Sang, at least this time. Amaury Studemeyer Jr. now clears Becker. The top 3, they're separated with a lap car between them. White flag displayed. And it looks like Aaron Hayden, he's going to get to the inside of Caitlin Sang. Here comes Amaury Studemeyer Jr. going 3 wide for second. That may be all she wrote. That may have given the win over to Brooke Allen. Into 3. Brooke Allen, 2 Carlington hand. Brooke Allen is going to pick up her first win of the season here in the Almond Joy Series, and Amaury Studemeyer Jr. just barely bypassed Eric Hayden for second, coming to the line. Well, for the past 2 weeks, we have had an underdog driver, a driver that really has needed a race win, go to victory lane. Chris Dollerton last week at Bermuda, here today at Dover, it's Brooke Allen. And now we've got basically 3 drivers to keep an eye on that will be trying to keep themselves in the top 30 in points. If you include also in our Infineon race winner, Joseph Romero. Boy, this chase taking a very interesting form here in the first half of the regular season. What's it going to be like when we get to the second half? Heading into the chase for the chase. But Brooke Allen lost the race lead on pit road to Kev Shearis. The only time she really surrendered the top position. Gained it back, though, on the restart. And never looked back. But it was close there. If Caitlin Sang had made a move on Brooke Allen, Allen may have been in big, big trouble. But regardless, Brooke Allen cashes in with the victory, becomes the 10th different winner in 11 Almond Joy Series races. Amaury Studemeyer Jr., what a great run for that 88 car. Came on strong here at the end, moved his way from, I think it was like 6th or 7th, all the way up to 2nd place in the last few laps. Eric Hayden will continue to grow his points lead now as he'll finish 3rd. Cody Smart, great run for him in 4th. And Kermika Jasmine was up inside the top 10 all day, almost pretty much inside the top 5 all day. Gets a 5th place finish. Ryan George will finish the day out in the 6th spot, so a good run for a driver who came in 6th in the standings. Davey Johnson will finish the day out in 7th. Angel Navarro 8th. Kev Shearer 9th. And how about Jay Jefferson? Got involved in the last 2 incidents of the day, but still managed to battle back for a top 10 finish. William Brock gets 11th. Joseph Romero, well-needed run in 12th. Mitchell Carter gets 13th. 14th for Matthew Dalley and John Andrews 15th. The rest of the cars that finished on the lead lap were Colin Denton, Jeremy Jones, Tyler Markle, Elijah Gordon, Nick Gunther, and Paul Minnick. Somehow that slow car finished in the 21st position, still on the lead lap. Then these drivers finished a lap down. Mike Becker, Caitlin Sang, Jordan Lopez, Benny Watson, Connor Breton, Jonathan Zorlin, Jeffrey Finguy, Julio Cesar, who ended up flipping upside down, somehow still manages to finish 29th. Cody Hagan, Seth Cole. Then 2 laps down was James Qualls. Tough break for the guy who came in 2nd in points. Zachary Hall 4 laps down in 33rd. Nick Johnson was on and off pit road all day long. Finishes 34th, 9 laps down. And then these drivers finished out of the race. Mechanical issues for DJ Curtis and Grayson Acavito. 35th, 36th is where they finished. And the drivers who finished out of the race due to wrecks that took place: Jonathan Rains, Jesse Turner, Chris Dollerton, and Richard Johnson. So I said this is definitely going to be a point shaker race. It will be. We still have Eric Hayden as our points leader, but I think that the landscape of the top 10 heading into the second half of the regular season is going to look much, much different than what it looked like coming into today's Dover race. Of course, as I said, next week there will be no Almond Joy Series race, as we will have our longest race of the season for the Hershey's Cup Series, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. And then we also have coming up right after this weekend, the Autism Speaks 400 Hershey's Cup Series race number 12. Let's head now, find out who is going to be the top 10 in points heading into the second half of the regular season, as Brooke Allen wins at Dover. Don't go anywhere. Your point stands are coming up in just a moment. So after our 11th race Here's what the point standings look like, and Ryan George, that finish, he got that top 10 finish, really helped him to be able to move up to second in the point standings. He's only 12 points back from Eric Hayden, who grew his points lead from 1 point over Qualls to 12 points now over Ryan George. Mitchell Carter also jumped up in the standings, up to third, and look at Amaury Stoudemire Jr., that runner-up finish moved him up 7 spots into the 5th position in the point standings. A couple other drivers that jumped up in the points too. Kev Shearer jumped up to 9th, up 6 spots. Cody Smart up 9 spots into 11th. And look down there at 16th, 17th. Davey Johnson and Carmika Jasmine each jumped up 7 spots to 16th and 17th place. But a lot of big losers here today at Dover as well. 6 spots lost by Richard Johnson. That drops him down to 10th. DJ Curtis drops to 13th, losing 6 spots. And Grayson Acavito, 8 spots down to 19th place. Seth Cole, also Jonathan Rains losing a lot of spots. Brooke Allen, that win moved her up 10 spots to 26th in the point standings. That is huge because that puts her into the top 30 in points. You'll also notice, though, that a couple of drivers that were previous race winners this season, too, are way down the point standings again. Even though he had a decent run, Joseph Romero only picked up 1 spot. He's now 37th in points. Look at Chris Dollerton. He had jumped up into the 30th position in points, but his poor finish today after his win last week drops him all the way down to 39th in the standings. So he's dug himself back into a hole, needs to dig himself back out. Look at another driver, our Las Vegas race winner, Zachariah Hall, 7 spots down to 35th. So we now have 3 race winners from this season that are outside the top 30 in points. If they do not get into the top 30 in the standings before the regular season is over, at the beginning of the chase, they will not compete in the chase for the championship. But Brooke Allen with the win, now up inside the top 30 in points, so we'll have to see if she can continue streak of good runs, as she right now would be in the chase for the championship. And Eric Hayden continues to grow his lead. So you'll see these Almond Joy drivers in the second half of the season. That'll come up after we have our Dover race for the Hershey's Cup Series. That'll be coming up next. Then we've got our longest race of the season next week for Hershey's Cup Series, the Coca-Cola 600. And then both series have their all-star races before the second half of the regular season begins in the chase towards the chase for the championship. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to today's race. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, to become part of the crew today. And we will see you guys next time as you've been watching a production of the SRA Offline Racing at its best.